Shabbat Shalom, you guys. I hope everybody's doing well. I am. I've had a busy day creating lots of content, trying to keep everybody posted the best I can on the 10 days of repentance, which from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur is 10 days. On Rosh Hashanah, it's like the birth of the new year. We have like Judgment Day and then Atonement, where we get a brand new, clean, pure, fresh soul for the year. And then all this light is downloaded, which is basically like according to, how the judgment went. We'll get basically a spiritual loan for the year or an allotment of spiritual light, and our successes and lessons and things are all kind of like loaded into all that light coming in. So it's like sort of the plan for the year for us, our destiny. And over between the 10 days, we are sort of like initiated into each of the different dimensions of consciousness, which are like these different parts of the soul being awakened. And basically how well we do with this during those 10 days of repentance will lay the infrastructure of how the light can flow through our lives and through our souls and through our consciousness. So this is how, the last, 10 days, 7 days or so have been like super draining, super testing, super inspiring, super cathartic. You might have been very emotional, just passing through a lot of things, dying to the old self, to the old life, and then just seeing dramatically like the new self slowly being born, and like these sparks, almost like champagne fizzing and bubbling. And so we're sort of like in this process of champagnese, where we are fermenting and carbonating inside the bottle. So it's all kind of like, it's all crazy. It's feeling crazy. Today was the energy of Had. And so if you want to learn more about that, you can see my shorts. There's like parts 1 through 5 that I put today, or you can see it all together as one cohesive piece on Liz_Taylor_Magick on TikTok. Follow me there and follow me here and like this video and comment and share it. And thank you so much. And thank you for your support. Oh, and somebody asked me if I had a Patreon because they were interested in just contributing every once in a while in a small way, as a tithe or a thank you or whatever tip. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I just haven't had the bandwidth or the time to like set up another platform. However, I do forget to mention that in my video description, I have my Venmo and PayPal link. So I know a lot of people support readers, a lot of people don't go to like churches or temples, but they would still want to like patronize people that inspire them. And so that's, you can do that if you'd like. We don't have to wait on YouTube to monetize me, guys. Nothing is expected, but it's always appreciated, and like even just the tiniest things, because it's such like just me nerding out really in appreciation and encouragement. So it makes me gush, but I appreciate even when people inquire as to how they can kind of support or donate, which is so super sweet. Anywho, let's get on with the reading for the weekend. So following this sort of rebirth of self, we've been really kind of having these like big aha moments coming up. So maybe I didn't finish. Yom Kippur actually is the 10th day of this piece of time. And so Yom Kippur, we do the fast, and that's the kind of the grand finale where we manifest the soul, the New Year magic. And in between then it's like we're doing sort of like extra credit work, right? Bonus work, like really like getting a good grade for the year, getting a good, lots of blessings to come, and just like rising above and transcending things that we just don't want to relive and relearn over and over again in the year to come too. So very miraculous period of time, August and September and October. So then on Yom Kippur, we manifest the soul, we manifest the light and the blessings, and we sort of seal off the vessel so the light doesn't leak out. Think of putting a lid over a cup, or like a stone over an opening of a well, right? It's to not let, water leak out, but also not to let, impurities in as well. So that seals the soul, and we manifest like our intention and seed that we planted on just the day after the new moon of Virgo. So that was Rosh Hashanah. It was also on Shabbat, so that had extra magic and power and miracles and protection behind it. but which also means that this could be an even more intense year to come as far as like expansion and blessings or expansion and challenges, or both. Usually life is a mixed bag. So the week after Yom Kippur, we can turbocharge our blessings and, you know, sort of big Mario ourselves, Super Mario ourselves for the year to come in this week called Sukkot. And you can just think of it as Sukkot, like Sukkot, suck it, nothing's gonna bother me. Because the idea of that week is to like be in joy, laughter, Thanksgiving, be as lighthearted and elevated and grateful and like goofy and playful as you can all that week, because those are like the highest vibrational emotions, because you're in complete surrender. It's like nothing is bothering you. You're totally elevated. You're totally joyous. You're happy. You're light, you know, you have levity. So that week, dance, sing, watch comedy, like anything that you can do to keep your mind on the light, and then continue to do the work of letting go of the old self, continuing to just sort of reinforce the old self leaving and shedding away, and then laying the foundational groundwork for the new self. If you are a member of To Be Magnetic, you can do the DIs to rewire your neural pathways right now. I've been meaning to do my DIs during this week. I'm like so behind, so I need to do that tonight. But that is a deep imagining. It's a particular sort of meditation that are within these workshops in To Be Magnetic that actually have these different layers of neurological like science involved that basically gets you in the right wavelength of your like brain waves to be in parasympathetic and be really impressionable and go through these like really vivid like visualizations where you just sort of like rewire your neurology, and you also like deep dive into your stuff, and like all that old subconscious stuff that's been buried, it like comes up and you can like process it and purge it or whatever. So if you want to become a member of To Be Magnetic, I have their affiliate link below in my description box with a 15% off code. And I think I manifested the affiliate program, because I was talking about them for like a year and a half, going like, I would be an affiliate, they just don't have a program. And then like suddenly I checked one day and they did, like out of the blue. So there you go. So if you want to sign up, my link is below. They have monthly fee, but if you pay like the year, I think upfront, it's cheaper. Or the same, I don't know, but you can just do either option. Okay, so the weekend message is basically reinforcing all of the revelations about ourselves that have been coming up. More things are coming into the forefront. More things are coming through to the light. More things are being processed. And so basically, well, I'll show you the cards and we'll talk about them. So we've got ostentation, which is Saturn in Taurus, followed by assertion, which is the Sun in Aries. I won't focus. And followed by organization, which is Mercury in Capricorn. Underneath ostentation, we had 3 of Wands, and it came out with the Knight of Cups. Underneath assertion, we've got the Queen of Pentacles with the 3 of Swords. And underneath organization, we've got the Knight of Swords and the 9 of Wands. So our numbers are 2, 1, and 10. Which is like almost like a counting down to like the point of beginning and ending. So it's like the 2 is, well, after 1, right? But like the end of the cycle, the culmination of a cycle is 10. So it makes me feel like we're in the midst of the culmination of something and the beginning of something, and like going back and rewinding a bit. Because there was the 8 today had to do with the number 8 Hod did. So go back to the shorts and watch Hod stuff or TikTok. So 8 has to do with new beginnings, but in getting back to basics, like going back to the root of what you've already learned to like go back and look at it deeper or revisit it in a better way this time. So, ostentation has to do with, like, on the one hand, it's like you can see something that has value and you're really good at growing that. But however, the shadow side of ostentation is that you might be tempted to like do something, like keep something going for show. Like for instance, people who spend out of their means to like look more wealthy than they are, or like taking uncalculated risks or doing things thoughtlessly and not considering the long-term value connected with what you're doing. So this 3 of Wands with the Knight of Cups underneath it, it's like, in a way, we're growing past the tendency of the Knight of Cups to be sort of like non-committal and, you know, like going after ostentation and just being theatrical and romantic. It's like all talk and no action kind of thing, or like getting distracted or feeling like not super in alignment with our choices. Like for instance, another thing that I see in this card is like, if people are doing things for show, then they're not like, oh, another example, like in the written description below, it was like, for instance, someone who goes to say college and goes to law school because that's what their parents want them to do. But like, and then that's what's, you know, society thinks gives them prestige. So they're like, yeah, that seems like a reasonable idea. Like, you know, I want to please my parents and, you know, people will be impressed with me. But then it's like you go to law school and then you hate it. And then you either like stay in it forever and like resent it and like sabotage your career and you never do good at it and you like hate your parents for it. Or you finally like get to rock bottom with it and you have an awakening and you realize like what your true passion and purpose is, or you just can't take it anymore and you leave and you find something else, right? So it's like getting in touch inside and listening to the guidance within and doing what is true and right and what's best for you, and not worrying about if you're going to impress other people or disappoint other people or what other people are going to say about it. Like everybody's going to have something to say about everything. Even in script writing, one of the things that the books that I would read would talk about is don't talk to everyone about your script idea, because no matter what, especially amateurs and people who aren't writers, the moment that you tell them what your idea is, they'll be like, oh, that's great, but you should do it my way. You should do this. You should do that. It's like, no, everybody wants to change or water down what you have, what your authenticity is. And so right now we're just like being asked to go inward, turn inward to the light, turn inward to source, and get really honest and clear with ourselves about what our non-negotiables are going forward. Like, what are our deal breakers? What are the things that we really value and really inspire us? Because there's the 3 of Wands here is phase 1. It's like creation, like phase 1 of completion. It's like there's been like not a lot of like obvious progress, but small micro steps and groundwork has been laid so that now like there are things that can be done with that. It's like when you are going to college and you have to get your gen ed courses out of the way. It's like, yes, okay, now I've got my gen ed courses and now I can go into more specifically into my major now. So yes, maybe there's not a lot of big change going on in your life right now, but you're doing the healing work and you're doing the small steps now to build the infrastructures and lay the ground to really like build upon from there. So important work is happening and achievement has been reached. It's just an early phase of achievement. Now, one way to boost this, and I think that this is simultaneously coming together, is that the more that we feel this like little, like this quiet sense of this phase 1 completion, it's like it's boosting our enthusiasm and our kind of feelings of romance and theater. And, you know, this doesn't necessarily have to be like erotic romance. This is like like romance for life, like being whimsical and loving things for the sake of them and thinking things are fun and, you know, and adventurous and, you know, kind of liking to get a little scare every now and then. Like for instance, so I like to go out in the park and out in the forest, and I just have like packed full days. And so even though I like to go out earlier in the day, I usually end up, you know, it's at the end of the day when I get to go out. So many times it's like I have to set an alarm so that I don't run out of daylight while I'm back there. And sometimes at the end of my walk, I'll want to go a little further, or I'll be like taking a picture or something, and then I'll realize like, oh, I gotta book it. So I'll have what I call like a damsel run at dusk, and I'll be like, you know, running, just this woman running through the forest, like trying to make it out of the woods before it gets dark. But, you know, I like it. I like a little like, scary, you know, every now and then. So yeah, creation phase 3. There's also something here about like just looking at the characters and the way that the pictures and the illustrations and the cards are laid out. You'll see it at the end of the video, and maybe pause and just look at sort of the pictures and how they are. It's like there's something that like we're moving like forward from the past. It's like this is the way they're laid out in the picture. And it's like the horse is going towards the Queen of Pentacles here. It's like that stability within and that security. But the knight is like looking over here like moving on from this initial like first steps, early stages, right? And going toward security. Okay. And then assertion is like this knight is like fighting this dragon and is just determined. And it's like we're kind of fighting our dragons this week, and we're challenged to find that determination to persevere and press through and have that endurance. What we're working on, our soul growth, our life purpose, our dreams, these are like long-term projects, and they're things that we have to keep continuing to give to, you know, just continuously with consistency for the long haul and as long as they endure, right? So this is like embracing the process and being able to act on divine inspiration, take the lead in your life, but also overcoming the tendency of the self to be impulsive and make impulsive, uncalculated decisions too fast. Like in many ways, this energy helps you get things started, and it's like that entrepreneurial energy that can fail fast and fail forward, but also like this can cause chaos and damage and loss in your life. So the fact that it was with, where are they? The Queen of Pentacles with the Three of Swords, it's like we're overcoming like our impulsivity that leads us to make choices that end in loss and in disappointment and in heartbreak and in, you know, ultimately separation within our consciousness, within our alignment with heart, mind, soul, body, and spirit. So by making choices that ultimately we maybe didn't think through and aren't actually in alignment with our long-term goals and don't build us long-term fulfillment or stability or don't offer long-term value. So we're becoming more like, we're understanding that we have to be this Queen of Pentacles seated in their throne, unmoved, like looking at the baby, like thinking about the kingdom, thinking about their security here, the pentacles, like seated, like even though there are arrows, it looks almost as if these are plants and fruits coming up, like fruit trees coming up almost out of the back of her, but almost they look like arrows. And it's like, no matter what is coming at you from behind, stay focused on what matters, the long-term things that you need to grow, right? And take care of and nurture. Seated in your throne, unmoved, grounded, like secure, stable, securely attached, the Queen of Pentacles. You know, has security in herself, is confident, has emotional stability, is emotionally sober, you know, has all the parts of her kingdom in order. So it's like her mental landscape is good. Her emotional landscape is solid. Her physical world is thriving and healthy and balanced, right? And then she has the fire, right? The sun keeps her, you know, in bloom, right? So yeah, the Queen of the Pentacles is super well balanced. It has the most endurance and stability, right? So what we're building, it's like we have this energy and this stamina coming through, and this fire and this resurgence of determination, but don't be impulsive. Don't be wise in your decisions. We're trying to integrate this new self. So take it slow. Breathe, pause, observe. Like, don't be in a hurry to make choices. Don't be in a hurry to respond. Don't be in a hurry to answer, right? Take your time, think things through. Time to get organized, right? And really, like, in your mind, be able to hone in that vision in a specific way, materialized enough where you can articulate it by speaking out. Like, what we want to do, and this has to do with the energy of Hod, is by taking something, like making something from nothing, is like taking divine inspiration, an idea, and it crystallizes and condenses into something more materialized, into an idea or a vision that we can see, that we can perceive. And then it becomes so clear that we can articulate it and we can speak it into being with our words. The words, the sound, it's like the first physical manifestation. It's the first level of material manifestation of the idea, right? Unless you write it on a paper, but physical is even, or like the audio vibration, I feel like is almost even more physical. Plus, it has affinity with the creator. Like, what we say with our mouth has power. So organization, getting clear, getting organized, writing out even like things that we need to do, things that we want to call in. When we say we want a job, what are all the things about it? Not just the benefits and the tasks and the responsibilities, but the way that we want to feel at work, the environment, the kind of people that we work with, right? If you're calling in a relationship, it's like, what kind of partner do you want? How do you want to feel in the relationship? Because someone can meet all of the little boxes, but if they don't make you feel good, if there's a lot of tension all the time, or there's not like a relaxed sense of security, then the boxes that are ticked won't really matter in the end. Because again, that's like choosing something based on surface level ostentation, like choosing the sparkly, shiny object, rather than, you know, like what this Knight of Cups seem to be like turning forward and going towards security, stability, like long-term things. So we have both the Knight and the Queen within us. It's like there's a part of us has been like in a state of one level of consciousness that has kept us sort of in this adventure and experimental mode, and it hasn't brought us through the next level of the manifestation yet. But now it's like, okay, now we're ready to use this Knight energy to progress ourselves forward to the next level of maturity and consciousness. And so now it's like we're ready to use that knighthood for good, for the progression of getting over our patterns, healing, and then building the life that we dream of for ourselves. And so I have a lot of confidence though, because here is the Nine of Wands with the Knight of Swords. And again, it's like this Knight is also sort of directed towards the Queen of Pentacles as well. It's like, this is us. It's like the assertion card is like, I know what I want and I know how to get it. Like, this is like, okay, I see that I have something of value and I know that I can grow this into something of real, true, lasting value and worth. I know what I want and I know how to get it, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm determined. But here is the thing, don't be so willful that you're working against yourself or you're shooting yourself in the foot, right? Don't give up control, let the creator control. Like, don't be like getting in your own way here, but also like take that assertion and start going with it. Like, follow the divine inspiration, but don't be impulsively like pushing your own ego will, right? and then getting organized and seeing what needs to be done and then going after it and taking the action. The Knight of Swords is like detail oriented. They are fast. They are very astute. They are very great observers. They can like see what needs to be done. They're gung-ho and they're like gonna tackle it and like take apart every detail, and they're gonna move quickly. So we've gotta slow down here and don't cut corners, don't move too quickly. But also, like the lesson we learned in Passover, it's like, don't give the bread time to rise. Leave the kingdom, or like leave Egypt, leave the slavery. Don't give the ego time to rise up and give you fear and reasons and justifications why you should stay in the slavery, right? So it's like, don't give the ego time to rise, but at the same time, don't act impulsively or cut corners or try to move quickly through phases of development. Nine of Wands is like persistence in the face of challenge, overcoming that final like 9th, 10th step to like being like, okay, I'm finally here. Like it's that like tiredness, but like pushing through past creation phase 3 to like, okay, I don't see the end in sight yet, but I'm doubling down in my effort. Even though I'm tired, I'm rocky in the 9th, 10th round, and I'm like bloodied, I'm swollen, I can't see out of any of my eyes anymore, but I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna win. So 9 of Wands, it's also about like overcoming patterns, right? And breaking you know, habits and addictions, and, you know, quitting things that are bad for you, moving forward, you know, completing things and putting an end to things. So again, yeah, I think that this is about like really just being clear this week. It's like RESPECT, find out what it means to me kind of week. It's like one of those where the character finally gets it at the end, like after the montages and everything, and they had to take a walk to the city and really think about things. It's like, I know what I have to do. And now they're going back in the third act, and they're like gonna walk in and like do the thing that needs to be done, and like take their life by the horns and finish strong. And then the credits roll. So yeah, I am feeling good, you guys. We're rolling into, you know, we're rolling through high holidays right into eclipse season. And that is like our portal where we cross over into the new us, into the new life, into the new timeline. So yeah, take advantage of the time you have now to pray, meditate, reflect, journal, think really clearly about who we are moving forward, how we are showing up, what we are accepting for ourselves and what we won't accept anymore. And, you know, yeah, being even more decisive, getting into the embodiment of what that higher self is, who that higher self is, and what that looks like in your life. All right, y'all, I think that this is still kind of a long video, but it was shorter than 40 minutes, which was yesterday. So take a look at my TikTok, take a look at it, follow me there. Bye.